American Action Network, which is a conservative group, ran an ad during the most recent Republican debate on Fox Business Network, and in the ad, they attacked the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Let's watch.
They call it CFPB, Washington's latest regulatory agency, designed to interfere with your personal financial decisions. That car loan you needed, your mortgage, that personal loan. With the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, those who need help the most are denied. Washington, D.C., controlling your decisions, limiting your opportunity. Tell Congress to stop the CFPB now, before they deny you.
It's amazing how disingenuous that is. So for those of you who don't know, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau came about after the subprime mortgage crisis and the Great Recession, and it was the brainchild of Senator Elizabeth Warren. And the idea behind it is, hey, we should have somebody looking out for the consumers to make sure that the corporations and the financial institutions don't rip them off. Because, for example, leading up to the subprime mortgage crisis and the Great Recession, there were these ballooning interest adjustable rate mortgages that were, people were handing them out like hotcakes. These corporations were like, hey, you want a house? You want a house here? And we'll give you negative 5% down, which means that they give you money. And then, you have to pay the mortgage over time. And like I said, it's a ballooning rate. So, you might have a relatively low payment the first 2 or 3 years, but then boom, it explodes to something you can't afford. Now, the only thing that was pushing that was deregulation and greed. So we didn't have great regulations that said, hey, you can't do that. And you had greedy corporations who would sell these horrible mortgages. They were toxic packages. And then they turn around and sell the packages elsewhere. And they would get rich in the short term. But in the long term, the economy was a house of cards. So you needed something, various regulatory agencies and something like the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to be able to step in and say, okay, you're not looking out for the consumer here, you're fucking them to get rich in the short term, and we need to prevent that. And they do many, many things. Like, here's one example. I was lucky enough to benefit from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau because I lost one of my credit card or a debit card or something one night, and I had to call up to cancel it. And when I called up, I forget which company it was too, by the way. I would throw them under the bus right now, but I do forget which one it was. They said, hey, do you want identity theft protection along with that? So, if this happens again, you're protected, yada, yada. I wasn't thinking I was hungover. I'm like, yeah, sure. Whatever it is. So they took like $5 a month extra from me or something. Turns out when the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau did an investigation into what those things actually were, it was just totally fake. They had no identity theft protection. They would just tell people, I'm going to sell you identity theft protection. They would offer you no extra services, and they would just take your money. So the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau said, you're not allowed to do that. That's illegal. And I got a check in the mail for however much it was, a couple $100, all the money they had robbed from me. So this is what they do, and the American people overwhelmingly support it. Which is why when I looked at the like to dislike ratio on that ad, which is on YouTube, it was like 95% dislike because people smell the bullshit from a mile away. All they're doing is appealing to emotions. You saw they had the banner in the background of Elizabeth Warren like she's some sort of a dictator. And you have the scary music and, oh my God, look how bad. This is like communism here. We gotta stop this. Now, it's funny I mentioned commie dictators because that's exactly what Elizabeth Warren said. She responded to it. She was watching the Fox Business Republican debate. She saw this and then she said, I got to respond to this. This is ridiculous. So she went on Twitter and she said, so can we talk about that ad that just ran during the GOP debate where I look like a commie dictator? Wall Street has a problem. They know the CFPB is working, and it's incredibly popular with the families it helps. The CFPB has forced the big financial companies to return more than $11 billion to people they cheated on credit cards. That's me, mortgages, etc. Thousands of dollars on a TV ad is nothing compared to the money the big banks save if their GOP buddies go after the CFPB. Wall Street knows if they soften CFPB support, the GOP will feel better undercutting the agency in closed-door deals. So here's my message to Wall Street and their GOP buddies. We're ready to fight back to protect the CFPB. That's exactly right. So they're going to do this propaganda campaign. They're just going to do an onslaught of media lies to do the equivalent of when they said about Obamacare, they want to kill your grandma, they want to pull the plug, they have death panels. And they're going to try to chip away at public support for the CFPB so that the Republicans can come in and gut it. Not because they care about the American people, but the exact opposite. They care about the corporations and the financial institutions, and they want to protect their right to rip you the fuck off. Well, we're here to call out the bullshit, and so is Elizabeth Warren.